Bing, bing, bing. We're live. It is the Kent Beck Scrum. My apologies for starting slightly late. The tea took slightly longer to boil than usual, or the hot water. And Lockish is here as well. Hello, hello, hello. We have Sam, we have Oswald, we have Ashley, we have Lockish, we have Michael, and Sasha. Goodness me, more by the moment. Let's just start with Michael, because he was in even before me, really. So, Michael, how are things going with you? Something blocking you, perhaps?
Yeah. So I'm running this build a website one that you had me download.
Yes.
Get.
Yeah. And so basically what it is, so this is the website one project, which is the main Adventure site. And Raul added a series of things related to security. And now you need to have a secret key base equals and do like rake secrets to generate some sort of key. And I'll just put that in the Slack for you, is like what you need. And we need to update like the .env sample and so on. So apologies for that, but that should fix you. Otherwise, anything else going on for you, Michael?
That's it.
Okay, all right. I'll just do me next. Michael and I have just been pairing on some performance issues on Agile Ventures. I think we have a partial solution in there. Pull requests, still some outstanding errors we need to fix up. I'll spend a lot of time with the async voter folks this morning. Wrote a new contributing MD document for that, helping them move forward with the Cucumber.js, and then also trying to get some other documentation into the Agile Ventures repo, partly based on some input from Ashley. Let's go to Ashley next. Ashley, how are things going with you?
Going just fine. Obviously, I'm trying to get on board, understand the culture, and mostly I've been reading through. There's a lot of good content out there for onboarding people and explaining the website, and then
Sure.
Yeah, like you said, starting a project. So just trying to gather that and make it cohesive, and then start documenting the tasks in Pivotal Tracker or Waffle or wherever it's appropriate.
Great. Yes, and for people who don't know, Ashley has been providing some great feedback on the Adventure site and the experience, and it's great to have Ashley involved, and I can tell already that there's a lot of value. I feel like I'm not. There's so much value there, and I'm not getting it. And I hope we can get Ashley more and more involved and act on some of her suggestions. Thank you so much for.
I just started, so that's all right.
Yep. Good stuff. Excellent. Excellent. Yes, and I think yes, I'm looking forward to improving. It's something we often tend to be, I think, very focused on working on the individual projects, and then sometimes, like for new people coming in, it's all a bit chaotic. So yes, definitely room for improvement there. Anything blocking you at the moment, Ashley? Anything else going on?
No, not particularly. I just want to say that it's very typical for tech people to focus on the technical things. That's what we like to do.
Sure.
That's what's most interesting. So getting content up to speed, not always a priority.
Sure, absolutely. Yes, indeed, documented. I mean, I think that there's a twin. Well, I guess you and I will have a further chat about that at some point, and I'll go on around the Scrum, which is of course the first order of the day here. I'm confused. Let's go to Lokesh. Good to have you in the Scrum. I think you're a MOOC student from the Agile Development Using Ruby on Rails. Is this your first Scrum, Lokesh? Say hi, Lokesh. And Lokesh is muted. I may not necessarily have mic. There's no need to participate if you're not interested in doing so. You can just watch and observe. That's all good too. While Lokesh maybe struggles with sort of connecting, do feel free to use the chat on the side there. I'll just check in with Oswald. Maybe also your first Scrum, Oswald. How are you doing today? Another person who is perhaps muted and maybe struggling. I'm imagining we'll just go on Lokesh and Oswald if you do. Able to communicate. Okay, so Oswald, first Scrum, no Michael Vid. Feel free to, and Lokesh, yeah, both people in the chat. Feel free to update us in the chat, and I'll read out your chat things as they come up. Tell us what's going on with you. How things go. I think you're both maybe students of the Agile Ventures, Agile Development Using Ruby on Rails course. Let's just check in with Sasha while you guys are typing. Hey, Sasha, good to see you. How are things going with you?
Hi, Sam. I'm good. I finished my tech test at 5 a.m. on Monday morning. So I gave myself Monday off. Yeah, now I'm just back to grab a ticket.
Oh, cool. Well, I think Michael might be available, and I mean, I've actually got to go off now. But Michael might be available. The thing that we were working on might very valuably use your input if you're available after the Scrum.
Yep.
Fantastic, great stuff. Let's check in with JP. How are things going with you, JP?
Good, thank you. Nothing much. Yesterday I just reviewed some PRs as usual,
Mm-hmm.
and today I've been doing some changes on the code of Format Plus because there was something that was wrong on the brancher, so I just corrected it. And still fighting with OpenShift to see if I can make a Docker image go there.
Right.
And I think that's it for me. Yeah, I think that's it for me.
Okay, well, that's the Scrum. We've sort of checked in with anybody, checked if anybody's blocked. Hopefully I've unblocked Michael there. I think particularly what Lokesh and Oswald will be here for is for actually voting on a story. We've got about 5 minutes left.
I didn't get a message from you.
You did not get a message from me. I put it in the Slack in website 1 in the main channel because you.
Okay.
So I think you'll find it there. Good to get that cleared up. Yeah. So I wonder. We voted in the earlier Scrum today. We voted on a Met Plus story. I wonder. So we've got an ongoing asynchronous vote in website 1. I wonder if that's the right thing to do. Let's have a little look. Maybe we'll try and just do a vote on the local support tickets. Oswald and Lokesh will be coming from the Rails sides of things. So if we maybe look for a quick ticket to vote on there, I will just get the pivotal tracker up for the local support project. Bring that up over here and share my screen. And there we go. Oh, Hangouts is changing its features daily. Go on, Michael.
Didn't really solve anything. I mean, you didn't give me a key, so it's not...
No. It can be any key. Just run rake secret. Type in 1 2 3 4 5 and anything you want. That's what
I think I just did it and it didn't seem to work. But
okay. Well, we can sort that separately. Let's just see if we can do this vote. That is what works for me locally. But anyway, so we've got one that we're currently voting on. Let's do so you can see here. This is the local support setup. I've got actually this features only view, so you can see these are features that we've been working on. We've got features that are ready to start that are in the backlog, and then we've got other items here. We just sort of scroll down. Let's have a look for a good feature. We've got some issues on the admin's all user page. It's not described very well. Formatting for descriptions. Can I quickly find a good one? Maybe this one is probably this. Allow the volunteer op to have different telephone email from the parent org. So I'll take the link for this, and we can do a little vote on that. Now, of course, most people here are not familiar with the local support project. That's not so important for the purpose of the vote, particularly for Oswald and Lokesh who are doing it for their coursework. It's just sort of to see how this process of sort of planning poker or voting on stories goes. But so the local support project is actually one of our oldest projects in AgroVentures, and it is a directory of non-profit organizations in this area of Northwest London. And extended from its original just being a directory, it now also has volunteers set up as well. And so we have this, if I just log in here, at the moment, the volunteering is pretty minimal. I want to sign in. Will that work like that? I always want to sign in as the admin. It's probably better. If I sign in there, we can go to the process of creating. So we go and find a particular, oh no, that's taking me to the Do It organization. We need to go to be in an actual local organization here. Let's go in a local organization. So then we've got this creating a volunteer opportunity. So at the moment, a volunteer opportunity only has title and description. It will inherit the address and postcode of the existing organization that the volunteer opportunity is associated with. And let me get back to the original ticket, which is here, is basically the idea here of this ticket is to allow the volunteer op to have a telephone and email. So it would basically involve adding fields in here, like a telephone and email, that would inherit from the associated organization, but you could override and set them differently if they needed to be different. Does the story make sense to people?
Yep.
Yeah, more or less. And of course, yeah, feel free to ask questions in chat or what have you. And so what we would do then is vote on this. I mean, it's a Rails project. we're talking about making some changes in here, we'll go for a vote of 1, 2, or 3, where 1 is simple. If it's a, the story was just, well, we need to like respell volunteer for some different setup. Yeah, Ashley made a point there about, yeah, it could be different versions of this, whether contact or best way to contact, and so on. There could be sort of various polishing. Again, if it was just changing, if the feature itself was just changing the text, then we'd probably call that kind of simple. If the feature involves, changes to the database, adding a gem, particularly a new gem, maybe that's going up to 2. And if you've got extensive changes to the database, multiple new gems, that's sort of 3. That's sort of my guideline for voting. So what we can do here is in the group chat, if we all think about whether we want to vote 1, 2, or 3 on this story for adding the, inheriting telephone and email here. You can also see we have already done a version of this with inheriting the address and postcode. So we've got some existing code that's similar. So if you get ready, don't actually press return, but if you want to type 1, 2, or 3 into the group chat and stand by your return button, and I'll count us down. And if everybody's ready, we'll say 3 and 2 and 1 and go. And here we go. We're getting some different votes coming in: 1 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 1. And what we usually do is we kind of try and see where we've got a majority for 1 at the moment. Actually, we're actually evenly split between 1 and 2 there. I guess since I've been talking a lot, let's take, shall we take maybe JP? Do you want to say why you think it's a 2 rather than a 1?
Not really.
No, okay, fair enough.
So just piggybacking on what you said. So if we need to add a new telephone number, right? Do we have that support on the database?
Yeah. So actually, the volunteer opportunity, it's not there at the moment. We would need to add a sorry, I'm just going to move this out of the way. I'll just go for a Skype call in a moment. We would have to add a new database field to go on the volunteer opportunities table. So like when we implemented this feature to the support for a variable address and postcode, we had to add those 2 fields. So we would have to add the same 2 fields. That's the what's it called? We'd have to add their oh god, my brain, email and telephone as fields, and then add in the same sort of logic that allows them to be inherited or overridden via this.
Okay, so that's the reason why I'm saying 2 and not 1. If it was just a simple interface change or something, or just a simple database change, but it needs a database change, maybe some model part as well to allow you to change things, and also a view. So that's why I'm. Yeah, no, I guess, and that's well, I'm kind of convinced there. Actually, I was sort of thinking, oh, this is simple because I've done it before, but yeah, I'm kind of willing to go for a 2 there. Sasha, Michael. Ashley, do you think we might be willing to concede that it would be a 2 rather than a 1? Given
I wanted to vote 1.5, so
yeah, okay,
happy to go for 2.
Good stuff. All right, well, I'll say let's go for a 2 there. I will go to the tracker board and put that estimate in there as a 2. That's great. You can see how that works. So for Lokesh and Oswald, the links that you need for your homework assignment there, I'll put in. It's the tracker story itself, and then also a link to the video. That's how we do the voting. There is also, we do asynchronous voting in the Slack channels as well as face-to-face. I've got to nip off for this other thing now, but Ashley, great to talk to you in real time. But yeah, feel free to drop into any hangouts during the course of the week, and we'll talk more. Yeah, sorry, Michael, go ahead.
I resolved that issue that I was having, and I ran the cukes, and they all passed, so I'm not replicating
Okay,
here.
well, that's weird. Okay.
Wasn't it also failing in CI somehow? Or?
Yeah, maybe it's a timing issue. That's strange. Okay, well, we'll look at that separately. Maybe you and Sasha can pick a different fun thing to work on. What's that one?
I probably have to go soon, so yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Well, anyway, I'll stop the broadcast there.